Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about what is your purpose. And I'll be talking about first, it's going to be a long video, but I'm going to break it up into like two parts. But first I'm going to be talking about the 3 levels of mental complexity. This is about the allegory of the cave written by Plato, but it was based on the murder of his mentor, Socrates. He basically got killed. This was in like, I think 380 BCE. And he got murdered because he was spitting knowledge. He was trying to make people woke and, just, he knew too much. That's what the government basically felt like. And you can see that, how that happens still in our time. It happened with Malcolm X. It happened with Nipsey Hussle. It happened with Martin Luther King. Those are just some examples, but Bob Marley. It happens with people who be trying to, who have a following and are trying to make them go on a path that, the government doesn't really want them to go on. But, yeah, so first off, I'm going to be talking about the first level. I'm not going to get too deep into it because it's going to be like probably hour to 2 hour long video. But basically, the first level is the socialized mind, and I'm gonna put like a picture in here of what the cave looks like. If I can, I don't know how to edit that good yet, but this first one is, they're at the bottom level and there are shadows on the wall, and there's like the people here, they're in chains, they're watching the wall, and there's a shadow of a vase, there's a shadow of a tree, there's a shadow of, I think, a bird. And then on the other side there's like a little cave, a little like barrier right here in the cave, and there's people right here. You could say those people nowadays would be called the government. Yeah, so they're the ones that are holding up these, what do I call it? They're holding up the I don't know. They're holding up the sticks, okay? The sticks that are the sticks of the bird, the tree, and the vase. They're holding up those. And then on the other side of those people, there's a fire. So the fire is making the sticks of the figures show the shadows on the wall. And that's what these people in the chains are looking at, and they're thinking that that's their reality, and that's what they think is real. That's what they believe to be true. And then you have, that's just the first one. That's what I'm gonna go with. All right, that's just the first part. So they are called the socialized mind, and they are stuck in the socialized mind, programmed by society's ideologies. They don't think for themselves. And an example of that would be, say, a church boy been raised in a religious household. No shame to them or anything, but it's just an example. They've been raised in a religious household. They grow up, they're told to go to church, they're told to maybe even become a pastor, and then they live their whole life, they're a pastor, and they do missionary work. That's an example. Another one, Democrat. They live their whole life, they've been socialized to think that they should be a Democrat or Republican or independent, whatever. And another example would be somebody who is in an environment where their people around them were racist, so then they live their whole life as a racist person. That's just the socialized mind. Your environment creates your mind. You're socialized by your environment, basically. So whatever your upbringing was, say you're in the hood, and that's what you believe to be true, that's what you believe to be the absolute truth, then you're going to be thinking all you are is a thug, or all you are is, I'm from the hood, that's just who I am. You're never going to go to higher heights because that's what you believe to be true. That's what you think is all there is. And so those people, I would say, when I'm talking about what is your purpose, for those people, their purpose is basically based on their environment. So if you're in the hood, your purpose is going to be to stay in the hood. Your purpose is going to be, let me go keep gang banging. Let me keep selling drugs. You know, you got to do what you got to do, but there's more to life than that, you know? And then the other one would be like, say you grow up in a church household, then your purpose is going to be fulfilling that. You know, preaching and sharing the word of God, which is a good thing, you know, but that's not all you are as a human. You can do more things than just that. And you know, the purpose, people's purpose is just based on their upbringing, unless you are able to break out of how you were programmed, you know. But then the second level is going to be called the self-authoring mind. So second level is, you know, like I said before, you have the wall right here, you have the shadows on the wall, and you have the people beyond this little barrier right here, and the people are holding up those sticks of the item, of the things, the bird, the tree, and the vase. They're holding up those stick figures. And then you have the fire right there. The fire is portraying the reflection onto the wall. That's what the first level of people think is real. And then you have the second level, and then beyond the fire, you have people trying to crawl out of the cave. And, you know, they are curious, like I said, curious to know if there are other truths out there. They're not stuck in level 1. They're not thinking like, no, this is all there is. They're looking at level 2 people as like, well, you're dumb. You really don't waste your time going outside the cave. This is what's real, you know? And so then you have that level. Second level people, they're trying to get out of the cave. They're making their way towards the outside. But they are so programmed and used to what they believe to be true that they're not really like completely open to the idea of truth. You know, if I could show the picture, it has the person covering their eyes, like they have their arm covering their eyes because the brightness of the sun is too bright, it's blinding them. They're used to the light of the fire, which is the artificial sun, the artificial light that they think is true. And it's a metaphor which is basically saying like, the people are used to, for instance, going to the club. They're used to the 9 to 5. They're used to going to school, graduating, going to college. They're used to politics stuff, you know, all types of stuff like that. They're used to the normal way of life like society tries to make everyone live. And then they're actually, the light from the sun is coming, when they're trying to come out of the cave, the light from the sun is like so blinding to them. It's so bright, which is basically saying the truth is so bright. The reality of life, the reality of the real world is so bright that it's actually hurting their eyes. It's actually just like too much to take. You know, I think, was it Socrates or Plato? I think, or maybe it was, I can't remember who it was, but it was one of them, Stoics. They were saying like, you can't go from looking at shadows in a cave to coming outside into the sunlight. You know, they have to go back into, maybe go outside at nighttime, and they can't even look at the moon because the moon's still too bright. So then they look at the reflection of the moon in the lake, and then maybe they get used to looking at the moon. And then once they're used to that, then maybe they could go outside in the sun, but in the shade. And maybe once they're used to that, they could look at the sun. So basically, once you really realize the truth of the world and how things are, and just how you've been programmed, right, then you end up just being like having a identity crisis, and it shatters what you thought to be real. And that can be like very depressing, because like I always been raised about like how the world really is, you know. But once I was learning about some things, I was like, dang, bro, I got depressed too, because I was like, bro, this is how the world is. This is trash. This is reality. So it's kind of like I was in a slump for a little bit, but then, you know, you gotta bounce back from that and make your own truth. So yeah, the self-authoring mind, they're curious to know if there's other truths out there besides what they've always been taught, yet are usually too afraid of the truth that shatters their reality. So they go back and stay in level 1 out of comfort. And in parentheses, I put filters information as closed-minded. So yeah, that's the thing with level 2 people. They're not actually coming out of the cave like the level 3 people are. They're they are better than number 1, but then again, I would say they are worse, because they literally, even though they are curious to know other things, right? They are hearing their like cognitive dissonance. You're hearing truth, you're hearing things that are questioning your reality, questioning your upbringing, what you always thought to be true. And so then you're like, what? That's not real. I don't believe that. Or, you're always on the, like I said, filtering out information. You're closed-minded. And you're like, what? That's not real. That can't be right. I don't believe that. You're just exaggerating. You're tripping. That doesn't make sense, because you're filtering information from your upbringing. If you believe that, say for example, like people who are sexist, people who are racist, you tell them women should have rights. Women should be treated, equally, because she's a human and a man is a human. They're like, what? Nah, women is below men. Women don't deserve nothing. Women should just shut up and stay in their place and cook and clean, right? That's you filtering information. You're racist. You're gonna be like, black people don't deserve rights. They're scum. They're ghetto. Muslim people are terrorists. Like, that's what you're gonna be thinking. You're gonna be filtering this information, even though you're curious to know other truths out there. The thing is, you're just still gonna be stuck right in the cave along with number 1 people, along with the socialized mind people, because unlike level 3, which I'm gonna get into, you're literally being closed-minded. Like, you want to know truth, but then you are just filtering the truth that fits your reality. So you're not really learning anything. And like I said, you stay in level 1, go back, and you stay in level 1 because out of comfort. So, you go back down, your eyes was burning, trying to go out into the light, the real sunlight, and then you're like, nah, I can't do that. It's too much. It's too much. Like, what do you mean clubbing every weekend is wrong? I should be doing something else. Like, what do you mean 9 to 5 life isn't all there is? Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not trying to hear that. So you go back here, and then it's more comfortable. Change isn't comfortable. Most people like comfort. Most people like staying where they're at. Most people like, but a lie is more comforting than the truth. The truth is bitter. It's gonna punch you in the gut. People don't want to hear the truth. I don't care about none of that. Like, tell me the truth because I want to be better. Like, people really just like hearing lies. People like living in a lie. They don't want to better their self and better their awareness and consciousness and elevate. So then I would say, what, all right, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go into number 3, self-transforming mind. So that is the ones in the cave. They are coming, actually not just sitting there covering their eyes. They're actually embracing the light. They're coming outside. They're coming on top of the cave now. They're looking at the sky. They're like, wow, so this is the real sun. Wow, this is what birds really look like. These are the trees. They're hearing the breeze and the wind going through the trees. They're looking at the vase. They see it outside on the grass, and they're not staying back in level 2 because they want to have more awareness. They want to know the truth.